All right. Hello, everybody. Name's Mark here from Tech Hedge Pivot Live. Going to be going over the GENX system as well as some stock indication using the GENX system. Going to look at technical analysis. What's the market doing? SPY, QQQ. We'll look at some Tesla, maybe some Apple. Got XRP. We can look at some Bitcoin, see what the market's doing real time. I'm trying to first time doing a live stream here. I'm using StreamYard Studio to do it. Not sure if I can see you on YouTube. Let me try that. That way I can at least see comments. So bear with me as I get set up. All right, I think I can see myself there now. All right, moderation, close, start poll. Nope, don't need a poll. So anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna get relaxed and get ready to do some analysis. If I see any opportunity to get into a trade, into a day trade and make some profit, I'm going to do it. So we're just going to have fun. We're going to do some technical analysis. We're going to analyze some stock. We'll start with SPY, QQQ, Tesla, Apple, XRP, probably add in a little bit of MSTR. I know that one's a pretty good stock that moves pretty good. So definitely want to put MSTR in the mix there. And then what I will do is I will have my Webull set up. This is a real live account. Got it set up for options. You can see, for example, like watch list, QQQ date, expiration date to the 24th, which is today, which would be a 0 days to expiration. And you can see if I did a buy option, you know, 4 contracts or 1 contract, whatever it is, you know, we would see the premium that I would pay for that based on per contract price. So gonna keep looking at that. I'm gonna close out a few things here. Actually, I won't need that. So going back to SPY. So you can see here, right? So this is the GENX system that we're using. It's on tradingview.com. The GENX system is a proprietary software that is utilized into TradingView. Let me close that down. All right, I see one watching now. That must be Danny. What's up, Danny? It's me and you, dude. We'll see how it goes here. Looks like, how can we get this? Let's see. I could send this link to somebody, right? Definitely welcome to comment in the chat box. We could chat there too. Let's see. I'm trying to get things moving here. All right, so SPY. You can see the These white lines here is the opening high and opening low in the first 5 minutes of the opening of the market at 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern time. And you can see it opened, touched the bottom, broke out of the opening high, came back, broke through the opening high, didn't confirm below the opening low, and is now reversing back to the opening high. So we got a little bit of choppiness here, but we can see a white dot with the red signal. So from this point here, trade would have been from here down to the at least the bottom, the opening low, down to even to this point. If you were to be able to close that out, that'd have been a nice trade there. And then here you see a white dot. This could be an entry as well. Even now, maybe a potential entry. Looks like we're at 604.54, which can go up to about 604.77 at least. I would see that SPY is going to most likely touch this opening high. QQQ, you can see it already did that and is testing above the opening high, but you can see there's some resistance forming there. So can it break through that resistance? I would predict that we're going to probably go up to the 538 range. And let's put MSTR here. Just got to keep it going, right, Danny? Just keep it going. Just do it. Look at MSTR. That thing looks cool. Dang, where's that going? Let's see, 2.7% up for the day. Definitely a lot of momentum. Oh, man, this looks good. Can it go all the way to 379? Man, that's an opportunity right there, huh? Let's see what Tesla's doing. Tesla, you can see, man, this is what we talked about last night during the GENX training. We got the red resistance. We have a white dot pop with the volume box and a red signal, and there it goes. Got a nice healthy retest, and down it goes, right? So that'd have been a nice trade there. Apple, same thing. Red signal failed, and now coming back to maybe retest the opening low. XRP, what are we doing? Yeah, XRP, that's nice right there. Look, it's doing the opposite. Here we have a low opening high. I'm sorry. We have a low with a higher low with the green support, and you can see XRP here. This is beautiful. I have a line here that I drew out. $2.20. I would predict based on this. We got some resistance here on the 3-minute volume, about 685,000 orders. That can be a resistance. You can see it touched it here, and it's testing it again. But with all this support here, a higher lows forming, you got a huge volume of 750,000 orders here. Buy orders, got a green signal. We've crossed over the trend line, and XRP is looking really good. Going back to SPY, there it is. So just like we were saying, right? Hit the opening high. What's it going to do from this point? If that's a strong enough reversal, it can again, it's probably going to come up and maybe touch the 605. One second here. All right. So let's see, MSTR. All right. Looks like it has a candle opening above the opening high. So we'll see if this retests back to the opening high and then decides to move forward, or if it will come back and and enter back into the opening box. But no, looks like just for information, we're on the 3-minute charts right now, and let's look at Tesla. Tesla's giving back some of the gains it got yesterday. I would imagine there's some profit taking. 10% jump is a pretty significant jump. They had their robo-taxi announcement yesterday, Austin, Texas. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see how successful that is. I know there's a lot of energy, a lot of momentum. People are really wanting to see that be successful. A lot of new investors, institutional investors, retail, just piling in because they don't want to miss out on the opportunity of the success of Tesla. There's some reports and forecasts of Tesla going up to maybe about $1,000 per share. So people are not wanting to miss out on that. And yeah, so let's make this a little bit larger. All right, so XRP, you can see we just got a white dot, showing increased momentum, increased buy-in. Which direction will it decide to go? My prediction is that it'll continue to go in the positive direction. There's a lot of support. It's crossed over a lot of resistance. It's now at its final resistance here, box profit 3, and has one final hurdle to overcome before it can get back to the 220 level. So we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely cheering for XRP. Definitely have a big portion of my portfolio is invested in XRP. I think they have a lot of opportunity to make a lot of people very wealthy. It may be a longer term hold than most people were expecting, but I think we're going in the right direction. So as soon as the SEC and the drops the case officially, even though they verbally have all agreed to drop it, it still has to go through the courts to get the stamp. That's the official stamp of the case being dismissed. All right, so now we got SPY. See. I should do this every day, huh? I should. You know what? If I'm here doing it every day anyways, right? So why not just do it live? It's a great idea. Why not? And if I do see an opportunity and I do see a setup that I decide to, because there's many setups and many opportunities to get into trades and day trade, make money, make profit. But when I do see something that I do decide to get into, I'll come over here to Webull and I'll, decide if I want to buy a call, which is on this side, or buy a put, which is on this side. If I click here, you can see it sets up for buying a put, and you can go through and set how many contracts you want, place the order and such. Right now I'm in a QQQ just as a placeholder here, but when I do see something I like, I can come here and go to Microsoft, MSTR, NVIDIA, Palantir, SPY, Tesla, Apple, AMD, Amazon, and I can add to the watch list any stock or ETF that I want to trade. So again, SPY looks like, so we got it testing the opening high. Again, this opening high and opening low are set 5 minutes. It's what happens, the low for the first 5 minutes and the high for the first 5 minutes. The GENX system automatically draws those lines, and you can see we're now trading within that box. We call that the box. So we're trading within this box. Looks like some consolidation within the box. And so the more consolidation you have in the box is like a spring compressing. So when there is a point where the stock, or let's say in this case SPY, decides to break out of the box, you should see a strong momentum. And we can see a change in direction with these white dots that are built into the system. A white dot with the green signal definitely showed a bearish momentum. And then we have a white dot showing change in direction, and you can see that's where it changed direction. We still have a green positive momentum there, but down here you can see there's another signal here, indicator, that shows bullish momentum and bearish momentum. And when these colors appear, it shows that there is a strong momentum in that direction. So you can see right now we don't have that, so we're in some choppiness. And then here with QQQ, again, we're at the top of the box. So depending on what this decides to do, if it tests the resistance at this level, 530, let's say 538, may test that, or it may just fail and come back. You can see a resistance line just formed there. I'm sorry, a support line just formed. This green support line showing, we're getting a wedge, right? So that we got a resistance coming down. We have a support coming up. And so it's like a pinball bouncing off the walls. It's going to find itself consolidating here until it gets enough momentum to break through either the support at the bottom and break down, or break up through this resistance. So we're going to see which direction it decides to go. It can decide to do whatever it wants to do. So it can come up here, come back down, and just consolidate within this range. It can decide to come up and just break through the bottom. It could do the opposite as well. So at this point, we'll see which direction it decides to go in. MSTR, wow, that's very nice there. That is very nice. You can see a lot of momentum building, and it decided that you got this green signal, strong retest to the dots, very strong retest to the dots there, and then just a takeoff. You can see where the consolidation within the box, strong retest, and then decided just to break out. So MSTR made that move. Will SPY and QQQ make the same move and decide to break out to the upside, or will it fall? XRP, you can see, broke out of the box. You can see the box here. It broke out of the box. Lots of support. I don't see XRP coming back to the 217 at this time. I would suggest here that we're going to go up to the 220 level. We may come back and retest maybe the 218, 217 level, but we're not going to stay there long. It's just going to be a strong retest, maybe to about the 218, maybe the 217.5. But you can see there's just so much support at this level. We got definitely some consolidation going on here. And so SPY looks like it's attempting to overcome the opening high. We'll see if, what do we got? 2 minutes and 36 seconds. What is QQQ doing? The same thing. So SPY and QQQ are following the same pattern. You can see QQQ, if it breaks out of this, can it break through the resistance at the 238 level? It'd be interesting to see. Yes, there is a link to join the Discord. It is down in the description. If you click at the description and go down to the bottom, you'll see there's a link there. You click on the link, it'll take you to this page where give you a little bit more information. Got some subscribe buttons, so you could take a look at what we're doing there. You'll see that we're focused on selling options. We do have and use different strategies. We do invest in crypto. We do educate in selling options. We also buy options. We also do some day trading. We also have an AI powered options GPT that you get access to as well. Leave that open there. And yeah, so once you click on the button, you get full access, and you can join our community. $300 for onboarding. You get a 1-hour session where we learn about you, see what your goals are, see what you're hoping to accomplish with your trading, investing, see what your portfolio looks like, put together a plan of success for you. And also at the end of the month, we'll review your plan. Our subscription is $49 a month, and you get immediate access to the Discord, of course. You get live weekly Discord training, live weekly options trading sessions, and weekly reviews of cryptocurrency education. Like I said, the AI-powered chat GPT you get access to. And of course, we're going to be using the GENX system and showing you the power of the tool, in setting up trades. As you can see here, we were looking, and there you go. You can see SPY. I'm imagining QQQ did the same. It did. It broke out of the opening high. So, can it break through this resistance level? You can see there's a high and a lower high forming a resistance. And so can QQQ break through this resistance? You could see it broke through the opening high, hit the resistance, came back down, tested the opening low, and now breaking through. But maybe a little bit of consolidation there. We'll see what it does. SPY has a little more room up to the 605, let's say 30 range. MSTR is just moving. I mean, this is this is wonderful to see for crypto. You can see XRP's up 1.35%. I'm going to open up one more. I'm going to put Bitcoin there and see what Bitcoin's doing. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. So I'm going to come here to Bitcoin. Let's see what that's doing. And yeah, Bitcoin, that's nice. So I would imagine MSTR is heavily invested in Bitcoin, and so you can see Bitcoin's moving in a very strong bullish direction. You can see MSTR has a similar pattern. So if I click between the two, you can see there's a lot of similarities in the stock movement. So XRP is a little decoupled from Bitcoin, but I think crypto right now, Bitcoin, altcoins, XRP, different, Ethereum, different tokens are following pretty much the same pattern. There's times where they do decouple, but for the most part, they follow the similar trends. So very happy to see XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum in the green. Again, SPY, QQQ, looks like a little bit that resistance is pushing down a little bit. So we're going to see if it'll be able to overcome that. Tesla looks like, see this white dot just appeared there. So, this potentially can be a reversal back up to the, at least the opening low of 347. That's about a $4-5 move. So this is pretty exciting. Gosh, very, very interesting to say the least, because If this shows some positive momentum, it potentially can be a reversal. What we're looking for here is a green dot. We're looking for this cloud, this red cloud, to turn green. And when this turns green, if a green signal like this appears here, we may see another, at some point, we may see a line or a wick from the candle come down at a higher low, and then a green signal and Tesla come back. And at that point, I'd be very, very interested in opening a buy call order and riding that for some minutes to generate some profit. That's the trade I did yesterday, was on Tesla. Very, very nice setup. $284 of profit. So Tesla decides to make that move. I'll be very interested to do that again. Apple looks like it's got a little bit of consolidation. Doesn't like being below the opening high, and looks like there's some consolidation there. If it cannot break through and decides to fail, then it can be headed towards a move to the down, maybe to box profit 3. So we'll see if it can overcome that. XRP, there it goes. We're going 220. It's what I predict, at least maybe a 220.5. So it looks like it's got some strong momentum and going in the right direction. So that's exciting. Bitcoin, same thing, right? Deciding to have some definitely some positive momentum. MSTR, same thing, maybe consolidation a little bit. Still got a healthy green green cloud there, showing it's still bullish. And so very, very excited to see the market where it's at. I know we had there was some fear with Iran and Israel and the war that was happening between the two countries, and then the U.S. involvement, of course, definitely causes a lot of fear, potential escalation, and caused the market to dip some. But fortunately, there was a ceasefire and a peace negotiation that causing the market yesterday to pop in the positive direction. And continuing today, as we could see overnight, we were up about 1% on the QQQ, and we're continuing that momentum. So very, very positive news. There goes the SPY. Like I said, probably going to test the 605 resistance. QQQ, looks like you can see that line just broke. So we are now have a candle that is, you can see, has not closed above this opening high. So that looks like an opportunity. Danny, if you're on there still, potentially could be an entry here, right? Even this candle now, 538. Let's write down that number, 538. All right. And the potential entry, what do we got? 2 minutes and 10 seconds. It may not wait that long. It may decide it's going to go touch this now. So we're looking at it. 538.50 is the first target, which is very, very possible. In the short term here, that can happen now within the next, before the minute and 40 seconds is up. So very interesting. I'm going to go over here to the SPY. So you can see we touched that resistance, just like the system, the GENX system predicted, right? We were going to touch this line. We have. And can SPY break that line? I would say, if QQQ broke the line, it's possible. However, because SPY is SPY is the S&P 500 follows the same pattern. It's a ETF that follows that you know, and the QQQ is follows the Nasdaq, and both have similar stocks. They're weighted heavily in the same stocks, and so generally follow the same trends. So you know, sometimes if one moves up, the other moves up too. If the other falls, the other falls as well. So sometimes the resistance, even though not showing here anymore, could still be some resistance that if this were to pull back, it would cause the QQQ to pull back as well. So, but yeah, 538.16. What do we got? 25 seconds. Four, three, two, one, and there it goes. Right. So we'll see. Can it? Will it approach the 538.50 on this candle? So very, very interesting. Let's see. SPY's got some resistance. Still a higher opening. We'll see if it can break through this resistance. If it does, the next target is 605.60. Let's see, MSTR. Man, this thing is running. Man, this is nice. You know, it's broken through box profit 2, box profit 3, and you know, could be heading to 338. Can it? I mean, up already 4% for the day. Can it continue to 388? That's amazing. Bitcoin, we see a positive momentum running with MSTR. We can see XRP is you know, has a little bit of a retest, little consolidation. All of that is healthy. You can see you get a run, you get some consolidation, you get a run, you get some consolidation, and so that's just the natural tendency of stocks. You know, they don't just go up in a straight line. They go up, they retest, consolidate, build momentum, and they continue that pattern. So we'll see. QQQ, we'll see if it can break through and get to the 538.50. SPY looks like it's pushing that resistance. It's definitely testing that resistance. I mean, that's pretty clear, pretty obvious. MSTR is definitely still has a, you know, you can see this is just very healthy, very nice. And here we go. We got the dot. Got a little bit of a green, little bit of green there. Waiting for the signal. Waiting for the green signal. Hopefully, maybe even a trend line showing a reversal. So once Tesla reverses, see a signal, I'd be very interested in entering a day trade. I'd do a buy option on that one. And then here we're seeing Apple has a similar setup, right? So we can see there's the GENX has not drawn the line, but I'm drawing the line because that potentially could be what's going to happen there. And if that happens, then, you know, we'll see a green signal here. We'll see Apple come back to at least the 203 range. And then Bitcoin, wow, just very, very nice. Just continuing to on an upward trend. And so SPY, yeah, testing the resistance. So you can see a big candle, got a little bit of a smaller candle there, and then a smaller candle here. So can it be, you know, so what we're looking at basically is a wedge here, right? We're looking at a wedge. Can it break through this wedge? We're going to find out here shortly. Let's see. I'm going to go over here and check on some news, see if there's anything happening in the news. All right. Powell tells Congress Fed can wait as Trump amps up pressure. I got word that Powell's mentioning possible rate cuts, but nothing confirmed at this point. But any positive news that comes out, right, that's has to do with rate cuts, man, people get excited. They want to grab onto it. They want to grab hold of it, and they want, the rate cuts happen. Any positive news of rate cuts is just going to move the market in a dramatic way. So I think there's a lot of people that have cash that, if they're hesitating, they're putting it in because we're getting closer, right? It's been 6 months. We haven't had a rate cut. And so any indication of a rate cut coming, especially from Powell, is going to cause the market to jump. I mean, that's just a given. Once you get a rate cut, you get more people that have their money maybe in T-bills or other cash reserves, where they don't get as much benefit from having it there because the interest rate return on that investment gets lower. So they put it into more riskier stocks, such as like the stock market, crypto, well positioned to wait on any interest rate adjustments. That's funny. I hope Congress really works with this very dumb, hard-headed person over who will be paying for his incompetence for many years to come. Very nice words. All right, let's see. Is this? Let's see if we could play that. Come back here real quick. So we can see, look, so now we look at the SPY. It looks like it failed to break through the resistance. So now what I'm looking at is, can this be a reversal? If we get a very, very strong reversal, we could be coming all the way back to 603. QQQ, I would suspect, is doing the same thing, right? So we can get a strong reversal all the way back to maybe 536. MSTR, so when there's news that, oh, we're not getting a rate cut, what? It's like it has an impact on people's decisions. You see it live in the market. You see the reaction. So if you could be in touch with certain things that are happening, you can make moves, you can capitalize, and you can make a lot of money. Let's just put it that way. You can make a lot of money. Apple, not as affected by it. Looks like it's still holding pretty good. XRP, well, that's a pretty dramatic shift there. I'm not too concerned. I'd expect the retest of at least this level. We may see this pull back to the trend line, possibly retest the 217.5, but I don't see it going much lower than that. Bitcoin, same thing. That's a very, very healthy retest. In fact, man, this is nice. So you got the green signal, right? You had a lot of positive momentum. Get some consolidation down, touching the dots. We'll see what the next candle does here in 29 seconds. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So are they giving me an ad? Okay. No rush to cut rates. Let's go to let's see what's going on with the Federal Reserve. Yeah, let me know if you can hear that. Danny, can you hear that on your side? See if I can connect my speakers, make sure I'm...
People shouldn't worry about that. You're focused on being independent.
That's what I care about. I care about doing the job for the American people. The things we do matter a lot for people's lives, and that really concentrates them on. You want to just stay focused on that task. As long as you're sitting in these chairs that we occupy, focus on that task, do what you think is the right thing, and take the consequences.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You previously stated that you view stablecoins as a form of money. Payment stablecoins are already being used for both retail.
Oh boy, talk about crypto. Here we go.
Recently, this committee passed the Stablecoin Act and the Senate passed the GENX Act, both aiming to establish clear regulatory frameworks for fully reserved dollar-backed payment stablecoins. Given their design to maintain a stable value and be redeemable for U.S. dollars, should the SEC or other regulators explore treating these stablecoins as cash equivalents for accounting or financial reporting purposes?
Let me say, I think it's a great thing that bills are moving. We need a stablecoin framework on that particular issue. I don't have a view for you. I can come back to you on that.
I'd be grateful. Thank you. High rates have also caused, as we've discussed, the cost of paying off our nation's debt to skyrocket. The CBO estimates that interest payments will cost the U.S. $1 trillion in fiscal year 2026 and continue to rise to almost $1.8 trillion by FY 2035. How do you see us continuing to be able to afford to pay off our debt at this rate? And as the U.S. continues to borrow, how does that impact your decision to keep or cut rates? Obviously, foreign countries like Japan, who are significant buyers of our bonds, start decreasing their purchases significantly.
Yeah, we got to start cutting rates. We got to start moving moving this market.
Global issue.
Fiscal policy and it really is not our job, and it's not something we take into consideration in making monetary policy. That's really elected people's jobs. And I would add that, for some time now, the U.S. federal fiscal policy has been on an unsustainable path. And, I'll limit myself to that.
I'll limit myself.
Last question. Last week you chose to keep rates steady. And families in our state, as you'll hear from a lot of people today, are really struggling with the higher costs of living, letting off bigger purchases on things.
SPY testing, it's pushing, it's testing it. It wants to break through, but doesn't have enough to get through. QQQ, MSTR.
Forecast themselves for their own families.
All right, Tesla. Apple's still holding really nice. I mean, gosh, this is very interested to see what Apple's going to do. Okay, just like I said, we're holding on the trend line, so I would suspect there's a lot of support for XRP, and of course with Bitcoin. So you can see very healthy retest. This is very strong. Green candle here, very nice. We're seeing some consolidation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Powell, later this week, the banking agencies will be proposing changes to the supplementary leverage ratio, which we think are long overdue, considering the Fed in 2021 indicated that they would soon put out proposals for reform to the SLR and never actually did. However, our understanding is that the proposal being considered this week will not allow for treasuries to be excluded from the SLR calculation. Secretary of Dissent earlier this year had argued that such a change could serve as a boost for banks and their ability to intermediate in the treasury market and could potentially pull treasury yields down 30 to 70 basis points. Chairman,
Right, treasury yields, if it does that, then people pull their money out of those yields and bring it into the stock market.
The treasury market, and what is the rationale for not excluding treasuries from the SLR calculation in the proposed rule?
So I agree that when the leverage ratio is binding, it discourages banks from undertaking low margin, fairly safe activities such as mediation in the treasury markets. So this should encourage more mediation. I don't have a numerical estimate of how much that would matter.
Yeah, the Fed, Powell, they rarely give very clear answers, very vague, keep people questioning. Most of the time you don't know until they make a decision and say it and do it. But they're always being pushed to lower rates. They're being pushed and called to the table, literally in this case. And so we'll see what, they're just doing whatever they can to encourage Powell and the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. So that's what I see this is. It's their opportunity to really hold him, press him. So you got a buy order here, 244,000 at this level of 139. And then you have another level of buy order, 550,000 at this level at 141, right at the opening high levels. So lots of support for Palantir. This is, definitely lots of support.
And most of those people are working in three main sectors: construction, hospitality, and agriculture. The president said in a tweet that he understands that those hands are needed. We're talking about 15%.
Yeah, the UVIX. I mean, if you're interested in risky plays, which I am at times, I would say go into, let's say, the 1 hour chart on the UVIX. You can see here there's a lot of support at the 23.9, 24 range. We're right at that support. I mean, that's June of 2025 was the last time. I'm sorry, June 11th is the last time we hit that level. And there was a strong bounce. If I go to the daily chart, got a lot of activity there. So we can see there's a lot of support there at the 23.5.
Growth in the labor force, more people working. The other thing is productivity. How much do they produce per hour worked? And and then again on the weekly, the growth of the labor force, we're right there at a bottom. But I think again, it's not for us to have a view on immigration. If we look at the VIX, you can see there's to engage with supervisors and in a way that someone with experience can do. For that one too. So I'm taking a look at Apple and Tesla, waiting for them to reverse and come back. You can see here